Today, we are diving deep into the absolutely phenomenal journey of Erling Haaland. It's this incredible story of raw talent, a relentless, almost obsessive drive, and just a meteoric rise from this tiny town in Norway to global superstardom. Let's get right into it. So, to really wrap your head around Haaland's story, you got to understand the scale we're talking about here. I mean, just look at this. On one side, you've got Bryne, his hometown, with a population of about 13,000 people. And on the other, the global football audience of over 3.5 billion. His journey is the bridge between these two completely different worlds. And honestly, it is nothing short of extraordinary. All right, so let's rewind all the way back to the beginning with the boy from Bryne. Now, fun fact, he was actually born in England while his dad, Alf Inge, was playing professionally. But he grew up here, in Bryne. And it's this supportive, super tight-knit community where the real foundations were laid for the icon he was going to become. Okay, this is just wild. His incredible athleticism, it was obvious from a crazy early age. Before he was ever a goal-scoring machine, he was a physical prodigy. Get this, at just 5 years old, he set a world record for his age group in the standing long jump. It's like this tiny little glimpse of the insane, explosive power that would one day define him on the pitch. But it wasn't just the physical gifts, right? That elite mentality, it was there from day one. His childhood coaches all talk about this kid with a fierce, burning passion. For him, scoring was everything. If he missed a chance, even as a little kid, he'd get visibly angry with himself. This was never just a game to him. It felt more like a calling. Now, you might think a talent like this just had a straight, easy line to the top. But no way. The next part of his journey is all about overcoming obstacles. And it really proves that those setbacks are often the very things that forge a champion's mindset. At just 15 years old, he gets thrown into the deep end, playing senior football with his hometown club, Bryne FK. But this was not some fairy tale start. As the skinny teenager playing against grown men, he was about to get a serious reality check. And look, the numbers from his first senior season, they kind of tell the whole story. 16 appearances, 0 goals. For a player who literally lived to score, this could have been crushing. But for Erling and his team, it was just a crucial learning phase. He was getting outmuscled, sure, but he was soaking up invaluable experience that just hardened his resolve for what was coming next. Right around that same time, he has a trial at the German club Hoffenheim, and it completely falls apart over a wage dispute. Can you believe this? Haaland's camp asked for €5,000 a month. The club would only offer 2. This rejection over what is now a tiny amount of money became this huge pivotal moment. Instead of derailing him, it just threw more fuel on the fire. And the challenges just kept coming. At 16, he moves to Molde, living all by himself, a 14-hour trip from his family. Then he goes to Bull Salzburg in Austria, and at first, he can't even get in the team, all while trying to learn a new language and a new country. But every single time he faced adversity, he just put his head down, worked even harder, and came back stronger. And all that hard work, that resilience, that raw talent, it brings us to the explosion. This is the phase where everything just clicks, culminating in a meteoric rise that put the entire world of football on notice. I mean, this timeline just captures the explosion perfectly. First, at Molde, 4 goals in 21 minutes against the league leaders. Then at Salzburg, he starts making Champions League history. And then at Borussia Dortmund, he comes off the bench for his debut and scores a hat trick in 23 minutes. It's like every time he stepped up a level, he made an even bigger, more spectacular announcement that he had arrived. And this quote right here, this gives you a direct window into his elite mindset. He scores 2 goals in a massive Champions League win for Dortmund, and this is his reaction. Not satisfaction, but self-critique. A relentless, obsessive drive for perfection. That is what separates the great players from the truly legendary ones. So what's next? Well, the only logical step was the toughest league in the world. He arrives at Manchester City, the same club his dad once played for, with this huge weight of expectation on his shoulders. And what he did next was, well, it was simply unbelievable. 36. Just let that number sink in. 36 goals. In his very first season, he didn't just adapt to the Premier League, he absolutely dominated it. He shattered the all-time scoring record, a record held by legends like Alan Shearer and Andy Cole for almost 3 decades. It was, without a doubt, one of the most astonishing individual seasons the league has ever seen. And that individual brilliance, it translated directly into historic team success. His goals were the fuel that powered Manchester City to the incredibly rare and coveted treble, winning the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the holy grail of European football, the Champions League. All of it in his first season. Just insane. So, unsurprisingly, the personal awards just came flooding in. He was named the Premier League's Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season, a super rare double honor. He was crowned UEFA's Men's Player of the Year and finished as the runner-up for the Ballon d'Or. I mean, it just cemented his place at the absolute pinnacle of the sport. But here's the thing. To truly understand Haaland, you have to look beyond the stats and the trophies. His impact is about so much more than just what happens on the pitch. It's about his influence on fans, on his community, and on the very culture of the game. Back home in Bryne, he's a full-blown hero. He put his small hometown on the global map. Kids all across Norway, and really around the world, are wearing his jersey now, dreaming of being the next kid from a small town who takes on the world and wins. He's become this huge symbol of national pride. And what's so cool is that despite all the fame and fortune, he seems completely grounded. He still visits Bryne, and when he does interviews on the world stage, he proudly speaks in his local dialect. It's a small detail, but it says everything you need to know. He has never, ever forgotten where he comes from. You know, it all adds up to what you could call the Haaland effect. He's not just a role model for his goals, but for his incredible discipline and work ethic. His journey is living proof that it doesn't matter where you start. If you can face down setbacks and just work relentlessly, you can still reach the very top. He's become this powerful example for a whole new generation. So when you put it all together, what we're really witnessing is a legend in the making. His story is this potent combination of relentless work, real humility, and this constant desire to shatter every single expectation placed upon him. And you know what the most exciting part is? He's still so young. So we followed his journey from a small town in Norway all the way to the peak of world football. We've seen the broken records and the trophies. But for a player with this much talent and an even more relentless mindset, it leaves you with one massive question. What on earth does the next chapter look like?